Welcome to Strongest Style, a pro wrestling podcast. I am your host, the living legend, Logan Hurston, and I'm of course joined by my co-host, the gimmick killer, Cooper Prater.
If it looks like I just came out of a cold sweat, it's because I was getting funky to the Shinya Aoki theme.
And he is a giant, standing at 8'2", Mr. Jack Dudley. You just keep getting taller. You're a growing boy.
It's unbelievable, yeah. I'm so thankful this year that I can come on this show and talk shit about shitty wrestling with my boys.
It is the...
So you watch Survivor Series War Games too?
Yeah, he left the Iron Bowl. He's like, I gotta see what Big Rome's doing right now.
That's right. But Gunther and Solo Sikoa cooked this week, guys.
They cooked? Did they?
I just thought Gunther buried the young boy. The MFTs did nothing. He just beat everybody up and won. My favorite.
MFTs. 4.5 stars. Right.
What is MF team supposed to stand? I mean, it's...
Nowadays, I do it... I'm sorry.
The most feared tribe, I believe, is what.
Oh, brother!
That's true. It also, on occasion, has stood for the motherfucking Tongans.
Yeah,
And also, Solo has said my family tree before, but it seems.
I think
really,
that's the stupidest one. That's the worst.
My family tree.
They're not even related.
Jeff
Cobb is his own
They
person.
aren't related. Also, Jeff Cobb's there.
Jeff Cobb is literally the least related out of all of them.
It is very funny.
Not
3
related.
brothers, Solo, and Jeff Cobb. Is that your family tree? Yeah, because when they said MFT, I'm like, is it supposed to be mother freaking Tongans? Because if that'd be kind of based, I was like, if it is, like, but no, my family tree, OTC1, ladies and gentlemen. So that's the stupidest. How many variations can we get? But yeah, Survivor Series War Games happened, and we're not talking about it. But a lot of other good wrestling happened this week. There's a lot of wrestling news. The number 2 promotion in the world, TNA, looks to be going to AMC, gents. How are we feeling?
Oh, that's true.
How are we feeling about that? I actually like AMC, and I watched a lot of AMC when I was in the hospital because they were playing The Karate Kid and Point Break, and they were advertising Star Wars and Forrest Gump every 5 minutes. So,
dude, yeah,
they could use some programming.
I like AMC. I watch it when they do the 24/7 horror movies every year. Not until besides that, they are pretty much always showing Goodfellas or Star Wars or what was the fucking whatever. I didn't know that they still made original programming besides the whatever Walking Dead spinoff is on.
But didn't AMC was also the same one that had Breaking Bad back in the day, right?
Yes, that's right.
Breaking Bad. Do they also have Better Call Saul
I'm
on it?
sure they had Better Call Saul, right?
Okay.
I believe that is also right.
How the Mighty Have Fallen. They went from Saul Goodman to Joe Hendry and Jeff Hardy singing Creed in one fell swoop.
I totally forgot about that segment until you just brought it up.
Well, here's the thing. What's funny is Hendry actually had a good Creed voice, and then there's Jeff wailing in the background, throwing it off every time he tries to.
Hey, no, Jeff. I think Jeff fits that Creed. I think Jeff fits Creed generally better than Joe Hendry. Like Hendry's a clean, good young lad. What does he know about the new metal?
Well,
he doesn't sound like Creed.
Well, I'm saying vocally. It was very funny, too, because, again, they remember, number 2 promotion, guys. Some people truly believe this. And they kept panning to the completely empty high school...
Oh, the cutaways were my favorite part, dude. That was awesome.
It's like the one person putting their phone up, they would just keep panning to that person. Was like, I'm like, what are you promoting? Like, Joe Hendry isn't even in TNA anymore. He signed to WWE. What is he doing there? Is he there to just sing songs with random wrestlers? He's gonna bring Moose out next time, and they're gonna sing.
I mean, that's what he was there for in NXT too. So
Yeah, but he's at least.
Does he wrestle anymore?
Yeah, he wrestled for the AAA mixed tag team titles against Chelsea Green and Ethan Page with Thea Hales. His tag
I
team
repeat
partner.
the question: does he wrestle anymore?
No, for real.
That's
funny. Does AAA? What is the AAA roster? Now, sorry, we're just going off on tangents, but I don't keep up with these things. I want to know if they have any luchadors.
Yeah, they have El Hijo del Wagner Jr. He's there, who is.
Oh, we saw him.
You did see him, and he
friend of the show.
He got hit in the head with a water
bottle. That
got fucking beamed.
Yeah, like full one.
That man's WWE bound.
Bro is furious.
They got Mr. Iguana. He's on WWE TV.
Sure.
Psycho Clown's still there, obviously. I mean, if he left, that promotion would die. Vikingo's there. Their champion is Dom Mysterio.
They have the pretender La Parka.
That's true.
There too now as well. But not the one true king, LA Park, who once again is a friend of the show that we saw.
Right. Huge friend of the show. You mean the most recent? Of course, it had to be the most recent La Parka. Sorry.
Yeah, the other one is out of commission, Jack. I'm afraid.
Is Patron still there?
Yeah.
I think he got axed.
If not officially, then certainly unofficially, yes, he is no longer affiliated with AAA. I don't think, but we'll see. We'll see how that works out. Bringing it back to TNA real quick, and getting this TV deal with AMC. Look, as much as we like to joke and rag on this promotion, which I think is. Really, the entire point of TNA and has been from the beginning is for people like us to say, "Oh, look at you," genuinely, it is a very good business move from them, and I think is a really good sign of things to come, possibly for whatever kind of expansion and growth they want to do. My reservations about it, though, are twofold. In that one, TNA sucks balls, and also two, that they are a proxy promotion for the WWE. And not a real promotion of themselves anymore. So really all this is doing is just giving WWE yet another TV deal and yet another pawn to play in the ever confounding game of 8D chess that Paul Levesque thinks he's playing against Tony Khan. The only thing really that I can see coming out of this is that I don't know, maybe they'll hold like Bound for Glory on the same day as All In next year or something stupid like that. And so but good for them. Good for the wrestlers, good for whoever, I guess. Good for Santino Marella.
Yeah, Santino.
But
it's funny.
Right.
We mentioned that and you're like, it's just a shell company for WWE. Who do you think is TNA in the last couple years the biggest star that they've made and or found, like that they've signed first, that's currently with the company?
It's Mike Santana.
In the company
Currently.
It'd probably be Santana.
If they were smart, it would be Mike Santana.
Well, I would say 1B is Leon Slater, and that boy,
I was gonna say Slater is.
I've never seen someone get poached so quickly. Bro is the TNA X Division champion, and John Cena is choosing him out of the NXT roster for Iron Survivor. That brother is gone. That brother, they're going to do some contract tampering to get him as gone expeditiously.
It's not tampering if you own the company.
They don't own the company yet, apparently. I don't know, supposedly.
Practically. They fucking, the Rascals were pretty big, and then they left for WWE and then came back. So you can kind of count that.
Yeah.
I mean, Santana, and I would say Santana is the one they've signed, but yeah, I mean, they did. Santana, I don't really say TNA built him up. He built him up in spite of TNA, is what I would say.
Is Jake something still part of the roster?
Not
He's
for long, brother.
moderately successful.
Not for long.
Really?
And they haven't done anything. Jake something is like a jobber in their company, brother.
Oh fuck, that sucks. I'm literally saying this because I'm scrolling through the roster page right
Yeah,
now.
again, they had Speedball and Jake something.
Kushida.
Yes,
Come on.
Big AJ Francis. That's pretty sweet.
No, it is maybe like that and modern day NXT are like the two things where it's just like, I mean, it's Coco Melon for adults, really. Like, I mean, it's
my God,
it's so bad.
It is.
But
there's a guy on here in a suit with glasses whose name is Special Agent O.
I feel like I need to see it, but
I'll send it to you.
Wait.
It's caught me off guard.
That's Special
I don't know who
Agent
this is.
O.
I thought Logan would for sure know who this is, but still, this guy.
If I had to guess, he's a part of Ali's faction, probably.
Maybe he is. Maybe he's his manager.
Ali has a faction?
He looks
Yeah,
like this.
he is like a Special Agent O. I know they have.
is that fucking Johnny Swinger?
Oh
No,
wait,
no, it can't
is
be
it?
Swinger. Is that Johnny?
I think that is John. He's in the order for.
He
No
he
fucking way.
looks a lot
No!
like him in the face. I'll tell you
I'm gonna
that.
look up order for
It's not Swinger.
TNA. Why?
No, it's not Swinger.
They have like a guy called like the Hometown Man. He's just like a luchador in a mask that like comes out in every show. Order for yeah, that might be Johnny Swinger. Johnny Swinger.
There's one guy called Jason Hott who looks like airbrushed Jay White render.
That's crazy.
Anyways, this is too much time to be spending on that. I think the deal is. Sorry, am I out?
You're here. I don't think Cooper's here.
Yellow.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh,
I was right. He is in Mustafa Ali's faction.
Hi. Checking. 1, 2, 3.
Here, you're here. You're here. I can hear you.
But it's not Johnny
Oh,
Swinger.
okay. Yeah. Sorry, I did not realize that we were in the general voice channel, and so I tried to
Pod recording.
pod recording channel again. But I did not realize that those are two different things.
I think Special Agent O. That's got to be Johnny Swinger. He is in Mustafa Ali's faction. I was right. I know too much about TNA.
Okay.
Let me see. Look up Johnny Swinger on Cage Match to see if Special Agent Zero comes up.
I couldn't find it on Wikipedia, but they're notably bad with.
Well, I'd say
pro
Cage Match would probably be the best bet. But you know how unserious this company is. You know what main event they're running for one of their shows? They're running. They're running.
What's that?
Can you hear us now, Cooper? I'll take that as no. Well, Cooper is a shell of a man right now. They're running. Oh, and he's gone. They're running Frankie Kazarian, who is the TNA World Champion right now, who beat Mike Santana, versus the JDC, also known as Dirty Dango, also known as Fandango, as a pay-per-view main event in 2025. How do you feel about that, Jack?
How do I feel about what?
Did you not hear the last?
What's
Did
up?
you not hear anything?
I was watching. I turned on a YouTube Shorts video. It was the only thing I could find explaining this.
This Special
secret man.
Agent Zero, bro's in the TNA lore.
I gotta figure this out. What the fuck are you
I
saying?
said
Okay.
TNA in Big 2025 is running Frankie Kazarian versus the JDC, also known as Dirty Dango, also known as Fandango, as for the world title in a pay-per-view main event in 2025.
No, I didn't know that, and I can't believe that. I actually can't believe that. I feel shocked. I feel disappointed.
Cage Match Special Agent Zero. I'm looking this up.
Bro, I got this YouTube Shorts video.
He's Bill Collier, is what the guy's name.
Bill.
He is Alter Egos, Bill Collier, Insaniac, Special Agent Zero, William Trudeau. This is
part of it. He was on. Okay. Yeah, just indie guy who was on A Dark one time. This is nobody.
Aw.
I guess Swinger got fired. Then he's not on the. He's not on the game.
Johnny Schwinger. He does look like a cleaned up Johnny
He-
Schwinger.
Yeah, he faced John Moxley on Really Dark. How about that?
Special agent.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Hey.
Can you hear us?
Okay. I can hear you, Logan. I cannot hear Jack.
What? You sure?
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay.
I
Straight up nothing.
I guess I'll try and exit, go in and out again. We're gonna
Oh, okay. Oh, there you are. There you are.
Okay.
Logan, say
hello.
something right
Testing 1, 2, 3, 3. Testing.
now. Oh, this is a
Oh.
nightmare. Oh, why? Because now I can't hear you.
Oh
Wait.
my god.
What is happening? Okay, hey, quick suggestion, real quick. Can we leave this voice channel very quickly and move over to
Yes.
pod recording? I just want to
You'd
see.
think we would use that.
Hey,
every
you
time.
guys were in
I know. I
general.
just want to see what happens.
Yeah. Okay, Logan, are you
I'm
good?
fine, man. I can hear you all.
Yep. Let's see what Cooper thinks. Cooper, can you hear him?
Oh,
Hello.
Cooper's mic is on.
Mother.
Is he speaking?
He would be speaking. You
He's
know
going.
he would be
Oh,
speaking.
oh! I can hear him now.
Okay. Logan is
Okay,
active.
I can hear you, Cooper.
Am I in here? Can you hear me?
It's weird. It's so weird. It's. I'll catch a word or something and then it's out.
Huh?
Oh my god, bro. But you
so
can
you
hear
actually-
me clear,
Yeah, I can
right,
hear
Logan?
Jack just fine.
That's so weird.
I'm gonna send something in the text channel real quick because right now I can't hear either one of you.
That's fine.
So
Bro's typing away. And
Yeah, we can
it,
hear
too.
him typing. This is great audio.
He says, I'm going to dip for like 2 minutes and come back. Okay.
I'm
We'll
giving
be
Cooper
here.
the thumbs up.
okie dokie. Sorry, folks. This is the joys of live broadcast transmission. So,
Live on
I will
demand
be back
broadcast.
shortly.
Yeah, TNA sucks.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. No, it's ass.
TNA literally killed the podcast, bro. I can't believe this.
No, I am generally a guy who's like, hey, more wrestling on TV is good for everybody, and I'm not so down on the weird WWE alliance as Cooper is, but I am with Cooper, and I feel like this might just be me being stupid, but TNA is like straight up a weird shadow promotion that means nothing to me, and I don't like they are disconnected from. They're like MLW in that I see them as almost entirely disconnected from anything important in wrestling.
What? Yeah.
Does that make sense?
What's crazy?
They're like off in their own.
Yeah, they're. Keep going with what you're saying. I'm gonna let you continue because you.
They don't fucking like they are in their own little weird world where like we just mentioned that Swinger was on the roster for so long doing stuff, and he like that's something that you could never imagine is happening in the real world of wrestling right now. It feels fake. It feels like it's in an entirely different realm from anything I care about or from anything. Like I always talk about how important, like I genuinely care about wrestling as a developing fucking form, you know, and like trends rising and falling. And I can't factor anything that TNA does into any of that. They exist outside of anything I care about. And I think that is true for like, I think they're like, this is the best way to put it. I don't want to use this as a thing to say I don't fuck with Avatar, because I actually fuck with Avatar a little bit. But people always would say, you know what I'm about to say, right?
Keep going. I want to hear.
People always said forever that Avatar was this huge, like, successful franchise that had no cultural impact. And that's what TNA is in 2025. They're a moderately successful promotion with a TV deal and no cultural impact. Once they are off TV, no nobody talks about them anymore.
Well, when the TNA fans hear that, they're gonna come at you with the hammer and sickle, brother. They're gonna seize the means of your production. You just wait.
Okay, sure. I can fight off 5.
There's
people.
that one guy who always posts about him on Twitter. He's a TNA Army.
Okay.
Remember, number 2 promotion.
It's going to be
What are you
them.
talking
I don't know
about?
his name.
It's going to be that guy and John Blood from.
John Blood wouldn't care about Mono TNA. You know what? We say this. First of all, I actually don't like Avatar that much, but I will say, because of the sequels, with the way the internet is, there are Avatar fans. Whatever. You guys go enjoy yourselves. I remember my co-host for when I did college radio, he got so mad that we all said Avatar sucks that on our friend's final show, he left the room to go in the other room to watch Avatar 1 all the way through, all 3 hours of it, like a little baby.
That's
Adrian,
incredible.
that's
the
that's a
punishment,
punishment. Adrian, if you're hearing this, that's a baby move, bro. Right, and then he's like, you know what? I'm gonna watch National Treasure afterwards. Terrible combo. Anyway, TNA. What sucks about TNA is like there was a point where they were the number 2 promotion, back in the day, and they were influential. When I got into wrestling, one of my main access points was that terrible, awful 2012 to 2016 TNA with Kurt Angle retiring, and they had the Grand Championship where they did with Random Rounds and Drew Galloway and Bobby Lashley reigned.
Oh, brother, that's 2016.
That's Bobby Lashley, Reign of Terror and stuff. But TNA,
yes.
Late stage.
it's always a joke, right? But there was an actual point where there was a moment where it felt like we might have actually started taking them seriously again. And as soon as that happened, they fired the one man who built it up and immediately started shilling for WWE. And that's why they never take them serious ever again.
No.
Oh my gosh, man. Johnny Schwinga. And they've literally partnered with, they had the IWGP champion wrestling in the U.S. for TNA. They had Kenny Omega in his prime in AEW as the TNA champion. And then now they've somehow they're like a TNA, and the best way I can describe them is a parasite that just won't die. They will latch on to whatever they need to in the moment to keep living. If it's Billy Corgan, if it's Dixie Carter, if it's AEW, New Japan, or WWE, they will find something to keep them alive. And I kind of have to respect
and sure
the fact that they're still.
No, I mean that's fair.
But if
it's cool that they still.
I mean,
exist.
literally all they poached off all the Canadians who couldn't get the visas. That's why they got Mike Bailey for so long and Josh Alexander and Ethan Page and stuff like that. It's it just the whole WWE thing too. It just makes me so mad. It's just awful when they finally.
It's like you said.
Go ahead.
Yeah. It's like you said. They used to be a joke, and they've always been a joke. But until about 3-4 years ago, they were at least, a relevant joke.
they were a persistent joke.
Yeah, now it's like an old joke that you hear. It's it's like a meme from 3 years ago. And you're like,
it's like
it's E.
So much has happened.
Team 3D versus the Hardys in Big 2025. What are we doing? We should review that match. We should torture ourselves and find it and review that match.
You guys can.
Cooper, do you have?
That'll be our April Fool's episode.
We'll let
we'll
let Noah Phillips come back for one episode, and he gets to pick what matches we watch.
Oh my God.
That would be a great April Fool's.
Do you have anything else you want to add on TNA, Cooper? Sorry, we used to I didn't want to move on from topics while you were gone. It was just ranting about how much TNA sucks.
No, please, let's move. We've spent so fucking long on this goddamn promotion. It was just the big news from today that I feel like the wrestling world would look down upon us if we didn't at least.
It's the first time TNA hasn't made either a lateral or a lower move in a long time. So
You're right, but this is to add on to what I just talked about a second ago, and I promise this is true. I hadn't. I thought I saw this right when I woke up this morning, and then I spent all day not thinking about it. And then I got on the show, and y'all said that it happened. I was like, oh no, yeah, that did happen. I've thought about like the Larry the dog dying many more times today than I have thought about the AMC.
Yeah, it's
So
Honestly, yeah. That's for sure the bigger
News.
story in my mind for sure. Larry the dog, gave people genuine joy and happiness while he was around. Whereas I don't think TNA has done that for anybody, at least not anybody who should be in control of the motor vehicle. So.
yeah. Well, that is a good transition. As if you didn't know, Larry the Dog is CM Punk and AJ Lee's dog. Very famously, whenever Punk came back, I think he got him right after he left WWE, a year or so after when he started doing UFC stuff. Had him for the last 10 years, I believe. Was it even a breed of dog that we could describe? I didn't.
He's a mix of a whole bunch of shit, I think.
yeah, I mean, in the most affectionate way possible, he looked super fucked up.
Yeah.
yeah.
But he was definitely a good boy. He was around a lot backstage in both WWE and his most recent run, and obviously in AEW, including the whole Brawl Out controversy. But hey, you know what? Even in that controversy, Larry the Dog did nothing wrong, and they made sure to keep him safe. That's how much of a good boy he was backstage.
Kenneth Omega, noted good guy, taking care of Larry in the scuffle, according to some folks.
But yeah, he sadly passed away. Cooper does have a shirt with Larry the Dog on it.
I know he's immortalized forever on my T-shirt that I bought at that one collision in Georgia that we went to. But yeah, I mean, I've never spoiler alert. I have a cat, and she is the only pet really that I've ever had. I'm not a big dog guy generally. But I do acknowledge, of course, that all dogs are good dogs, and it is incredibly sad whenever any one of them goes. It's always before their time, in my opinion, and I can't imagine the feeling that the Brooks Mendez household is feeling right now. So. My best wishes to them, and hopefully they can continue on and give some hope to owners of other little gremlins out there too somewhere.
It is
Yeah,
it
I
is
agree.
the most CM Punk dog, and I gotta respect it for that. For Larry, I as someone who's had many dogs, I am a dog person. Well, if I was to pick a pet up dog person, the animals don't like me very much, but I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Oh no,
It's all right. But as someone who's not only got animals, but as someone who always got rescues, and all my animals are mixes of something, or as I call them, they're just mutts. Good dogs, mutts, unconditional love. Same thing. I wish my best wishes to all of them, out to both Punk and AJ. Hopefully, this doesn't. It's gonna be a while. I know, especially for them. He was very close to that dog, and especially the Instagram post was very heartfelt. And I just wish them all the best.
You know why he's called Larry, right?
Why's that?
He's named after Larry Talbot, which is the name of the Wolfman in the original 1930s Wolfman movie.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Damn, he does look like.
I know, right?
That's funny.
I saw some interview with Punk where he was talking about him, and he pointed that out, and I was like, oh damn, yeah, you really nailed that on the head there.
Dude, yeah, with the teeth. Oh, that's funny. I'm looking at a picture. That's really funny. OG Wolfman is second best. of the old third best of the old Universal.
I was about to say, let's
Here's
not run down Invisible Man now.
I was gonna say Bride and Invisible Man are both better, and that's a solid third. It's a very good old movie.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I thought you were gonna say Larry Zabisco for some reason in my mind. You know, just WCW'd out right now, but
that would also make sense considering that Punk is a big old school nerd. So,
Yep.
but yeah.
That's funny.
What other news do we have? We hit TNA.
Oh,
We hit
do we want to take a trip down to Mexico for a second?
yes.
Sure, let us know.
Okay, yeah. So, the oldest promotion in the world, and in my opinion, the best promotion in Mexico at the minute, Consejo Mundial de Lucha Libre. They held their regular Friday show, which is kind of their trademark weekly program from Arena Mexico this week, and it featured a number of really, really great matches. For in somewhat of a rarity, they had a couple of titles on the line. Championships are kind of treated differently in CMLL as opposed to how they normally are in certainly American promotions and in most wrestling promotions generally. In that they are not really like the key motivators for storylines and stuff like that. Feuds often don't really revolve around the acquisition of a title so much as they do a blood feud really in a CMLL terms will eventually lead up to an Apuestas match more so than a title match. So really what they're there for is just to kind of signify consistent important players in their respective divisions. They're done by weight and like in like proper like weight classes, like almost like boxing. There's a lot of them. But it's not like if you're like the world heavyweight champion of CMLL, that doesn't mean you're like the top guy in CMLL, right?
Yes.
So on this particular show, I didn't watch a bunch of the undercard matches, but once the title matches started, I watched from there. And the first one was for their tag championships, which was a title defense from the reigning champs, Los Hermanos Chavez, which is the team of Angel de Oro and Niebla Roja. They are brothers. They are also really, really great. I love Los Hermanos Chavez. I think they are one of the most underrated tag teams going right now. They just have really great chemistry, which probably helps because they're brothers. And Angel de Oro particularly, I think, is a very charismatic performer. I've seen him do a bunch of single stuff that I really, really like. And they are also, I believe, at the minute, the reigning New Japan Strong tag champions. They came out with those belts as well, although those were not on the line in this particular contest. And they were defending against the Death Riders, this being the team of the young boy team of the Death Riders, Daniel Garcia and Wheeler Utah, young Wheeler.
Wheeler.
And so I was very intrigued to see how the Death Riders team would do a CMLL match and work in Arena Mexico, and the answer is quite well. Pretty much everybody really from the inception of this AEW partnership that CMLL has been in, everybody really that AEW has sent over, I think has acclimated surprisingly well to the CMLL style, with the notable exception of Chris Jericho. But that's its own thing. But yeah, Danny and Wheeler here, I think they knew their role and played it to perfection. doing some very classic, just like shitty Rudo stuff. Constantly trying to get Los Hermanos Chavez on the outside, and finding some really clever workarounds with the tags, or with the lack of tags rather, because you don't have to tag in necessarily in a lucha tag match, and so the ways that they would use that to their advantage as well sometimes. But Los Hermanos Chavez, for their part, looked incredibly dominant in this defense. There wasn't ever really like a doubt in my mind that they would retain. But I think it's a good little showcase match, and maybe if somebody who's a little less familiar with CMLL just knows like maybe Mystico and the people that they send over to AEW sometimes, if you want to give it a shot, I think it's kind of a good little like taster for it. I think like this whole show kind of is like a good little taster for AEW audiences maybe getting into CMLL. And that leads into the next match on the show, and the next title match for their World Heavyweight Championship. It was the defending champion Gran Guerrero versus Claudio Castagnoli, also of the Death Riders. And this one was the most shocking result of the night, because Claudio Castagnoli is your new CMLL World Heavyweight Champion. Once again, like I said, the titles are not super important, so it's not like he's the top guy in CMLL all of a sudden, right? But it is shocking still to put it on somebody who is not signed with the company at all, and just to change it generally, because the other thing about CMLL title reigns is because they don't really matter all that much, they don't get defended all that much, and so you tend to have really, really long reigns. Gran Guerrero has been the CMLL World Heavyweight Champion for like 3 years, uninterrupted. He's fine. He's a good. He's like a solid wrestler. But yeah, nothing that's like really gonna blow your mind or anything. But he has this incredibly long, like, Roman Reigns-esque run with this belt. It comes mostly through lack of defenses, if anything. I will say this match was was the first real Gran Guerrero singles match. I've seen him in some tag stuff with the other members of his faction, because he's in the same team as Ultimo Guerrero, and I think Stuka Jr. They team up sometimes, he's really good in those tags as the beef of that team, but I've never seen him do any singles stuff, and maybe it's just because Claudio is such like a absolute like beast of a like base wrestler, but like Gran Guerrero, for being as big and beefy of a guy as he is, I was really surprised with some of the stuff he was able to pull off with Claudio here. There was they both get their big kind of strength spots in. Claudio also, for his part, shows a lot more agility than he normally does. He kicks off the match and does a little tiaras over to Gran Guerrero that like kind of came out of nowhere, I thought. And Gran Guerrero at one point flips him up by his arm, and gets him into almost like pile driver position, and it looks like he's carrying around like a newborn baby, but it's fucking Claudio Castagnoli. I was really entertained by this match, and I thought was a good little showcase for Gran Guerrero, even though he ended up losing the contest. And I'm interested to see how they incorporate the fact that Claudio is now a world champion in a partner promotion of AEW on AEW programming, especially in conjunction with this storyline with Mox that's been going on. Mox who is losing ground, not only in his championship pursuits, but just in his standing within his own faction, whereas Claudio and as we'll get into later, Pac and all these other members of his teams are rising in their stature. So it'll be interesting to see how that little moment plays into it. And then the last thing on the show that I want to recommend is something with no AEW wrestlers in it whatsoever. But the main event was for the Leyenda de Azul championship finals. This is a tournament that they've been running for, I think, like a couple of weeks now. It's in honor of Blue Demon. So it's a they give you a little title belt, but it's ceremonial in like the Owen Hart Cup kind of way. Yeah. And they also give you a little plaque with Blue Demon's mask on it, which looks really, really cool. And so it was a 3-way, and your competitors here were the returning Soberano Jr., who had made his official return to CMLL a couple of weeks back. Of course, he made his first appearance since his injury in that Pokemon show, where he dressed up as Gengar and then stood around for a little bit and then left like a beast. But he has finally returned to the ring, and all of his many thousands of girlfriends have come to Arena Mexico to see him again, and it was very nice to see. But so yeah, he's in it. Barbaro Cavernario was also in it, who I really, really enjoy. He has a caveman gimmick, and he just does like just the wildest shit for no good reason really, but he's always very fun. He gets the crowd really into his stuff. And then of course the god of current CMLL, the Leyenda de Plata y Oro. I'm of course talking about Mystico. He was in this as well. Coming out with a beautiful entrance attire. He had the wings on the back, much like his Pokemon show gear, and had a lovely little costume with blue accents on it, normally where the gold is, and same with his mask too. His mask had a little blue stretch on the back as well. This one I really, really loved. And if you're watching this show for the AEW stuff, I would recommend watching to this main event as well, to really give you a good taste of what a proper like big time CMLL main event is like. And it was so fun through various shenanigans. Barbaro Cavernario ends up winning, and the image of this wild caveman with the Blue Demon mask on a plaque being presented to him in this very formal fashion, I thought was quite funny. The CMLL as a promotion has just been on a really great hot streak for the past couple of years now, and I hope to see them continue on that road. It's still too far out really from any of their big shows to see how the AEW partnership will continue on, but if it continues leading to just really solid matches like the Death Riders tag and the world title match, and I will say also like even some non-title stuff. Jet Speed made their debut in Arena Mexico last week, and played heel in their match incredibly well. By the way, they're really great Rudos, both Kevin Knight and Mike Bailey, so like those guys and Commander and Beast Mortos and MJF when he gets in there. I think the stuff that they've been able to do in conjunction with this AEW partnership and on their own is really impressive. And I would absolutely give it a shot if you're looking for another little hour or so of wrestling to kill some time with.
For sure,
Okay.
for sure.
Yeah, that's great.
I mean, someone say,
That does sound like fun. I've been wanting to. What,
no,
Logan?
you got it, Jack.
I've been wanting to get back into CMLL for a while. I really like what they're doing. It's just so expensive. And,
Yeah, I will say the official YouTube membership is the biggest scam in all of wrestling.
sure.
But there's ways.
much-
There's
There's
ways.
ways, and I do also have an idea of the ways. I need to just find the time.
How much is the YouTube membership monthly?
Like 26. I think.
Well, depending on the tier, I think.
Yeah. That's the one
Uh,
that gets you the live Friday shows and like the good show.
Jeez.
Yeah. The lowest one gets you everything on a delay, I think.
Yeah.
But or the Friday stuff on the delay, and then you have to pay extra still for the big shows, like your Onai, Leyendas, and all that. So
But some would say, I mean, other than that, I mean, from what I've heard, everything I've seen in CMLL, definitely as we're getting into the year, up there for promotion of the year. Wouldn't you say, Coop?
yeah, maybe. I will say I think just in terms of my personal investment and interest, it has been a little bit lower than certainly last year. I think was where like my watching of it kind of peaked. But that's not anything necessarily. That's not to say that like as a product that they've downgraded or anything. It's just that there's been a lot more stuff in wrestling that I've gravitated to more. But I mean, I will say they are probably the most consistent promotion in the game right now. Like hands down, every Friday you're gonna get at least like a banger main event and a couple of really really solid matches on the undercard. It's just the most like incredible like meat and potatoes wrestling going right now. It's very old school, very classic feeling, but sometimes that's what you want. And yeah, it's a very comforting promotion, and it helps. Like it feels natural to just kind of like dip in and out as opposed to.
I get that. It is the most sort of non-committal wrestling promotion out there, which is a good thing for sure in some ways.
Yep.
It's just an exciting 2 hours.
We've had all this talk about us going to the Tokyo Dome and all this stuff, but when are we going to go to Arena Mexico? I feel like that's a little bit more manageable.
It would absolutely be manageable.
Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I got plans.
I got plans that I cannot discuss. But let's stick to this world traveling segment, and let's go all the way from Mexico to the island of Japan, where I believe we have some World Tag League talk and some Stardom Tag League that just ended. Correct, Jack?
We do have some of that. I'm going to send y'all in a little bit of a different direction to start because we're still on the sort of news. We were on the news train earlier. I just wanted to talk about something that was a little interesting to me. We talked a lot in the lead up to Okada being announced as Tanahashi's opponent at Wrestle Kingdom 20 this year. And before with that, we were talking a lot about speculation, who it might be, whether it was Okada or Naito or Omega, or of course Shinsuke Nakamura, who dominated a lot of that conversation. And there were those leaks. We kept on talking about stuff to do with AEW maybe not being happy with that idea, trying to push for Okada. People like Fightful sort of disagreeing with it. Sources that were closer to AEW disagreeing with it. Sources that were closer to New Japan wanting to put that out there. And this past week, 2 days ago specifically, there was a really lovely, in-depth sort of story about how it all went down from the Social Suplex Network. They are a newsletter who put out articles like this. They also have Keeping It Strong Style, which I listen to. It's a lovely show. This article specifically was written by one of their writers. It was Trish Spears, and I know Trish in passing. She seems very nice. But it was really well put together, and it explained a lot of the stuff. And I thought since we've dedicated so much time to that, it'd be worth going through. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's one of the bigger talks in wrestling at the minute. So
No doubt. Trish went through a lot of she went through a lot of general stuff that's been happening with New Japan and their American partners lately, but specifically as it pertains to Tanahashi's final match. Apparently, the story goes this is how it went down. From the beginning, there were 4 options for the final opponent, which was Tetsuya Naito, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Kazuchika Okada, and also Kenny Omega, but Omega was not discussed as seriously as the rest, mostly because of his injuries and not wanting to. Tanahashi seems fairly obsessed with having a match that he actually, wants to be really good, and while Omega could pull that off, I think they don't want to worry about his health as much because that's been such a question mark lately.
for sure, for sure.
Here's the most interesting part, and I'll just jump right into it, is that New Japan and WWE have been openly talking about trying to bag Nakamura for this match since January, which is a lot since, the announcement. Well, it happened in October, but since the retirement tour started. And that is really interesting. I think most people, even people like that were talking about this, like JCast Joel or Chris Samsa or whoever, I don't think most people realized it had been quite that long. Apparently it really ramped into sort of like a second gear. And this explains something that was really weird about New Japan earlier in the year. Was supposedly the whole weird situation with Jeff Cobb leaving and being planned to face Goto for the world title and then getting pulled early and showing up on WWE not even right after, but a few weeks after. That was all done sort of to try and gain favor with WWE for this to happen, which makes that make a lot more sense in retrospect, I think. Makes it really kind of annoying when it comes to what I'm about to talk about next, But we love JC Mateo over here, don't we, boys? It's good to know that they were able to reach that.
It was all worth it. It was
all worth it in the end. Conversely, Tanahashi started talking with for Okada and with Naito much later in May, probably when they started to realize that this might not be happening. Nakamura was always the first choice. At some point in the summer, and this was actually something that had been kind of floating around from those outlets that I always talk about, like JCast Joel and Samsa and all those people who were kind of in the know. But Nakamura was trying to get out of the contract, supposedly, his WWE contract, sometime in the summer. And WWE originally planned to grant it and just sort of wash their hands of the whole thing, but then changed their mind and sort of egged New Japan on for even longer. And at some point, New Japan just kind of got tired of it all and didn't, like the idea of going through all this for, a company that had been sort of pulling their fucking leg the whole time and making it difficult. And they were starting to get what people were talking about, starting to get some pushback from AEW and from Tony Khan about Nakamura still being considered if he was going to be contracted, wasn't going to be a free agent, and they didn't want to hurt the relationship, and were just sort of ready to be done with it all.
Yeah,
and
that was my understanding from what I had gathered from it, was that had he been released from his contract and worked that match as a free agent, no problem from AEW whatsoever. Right. But it was the insistence of WWE, TKO, whoever made that call, to keep him on board as a signed WWE talent, that made that essentially impossible at that point.
Yeah. Around this, yeah, you're right. That's exactly how it comes across. And we talked about this when it first came out, like when it first was revealed that they were just going with Okada. And I think realistically, that's pretty fucking fair to expect out of your long-term partner, even if, we can talk forever about whether or not we think it's a partnership that benefits New Japan. It's something fair to expect from
Yeah.
AEW. And it's
Right.
something
Right.
that it seems like Tanahashi and the New Japan element were just kind of ready to be done with anyways, just because of how difficult it ended up being. Um, Naito was still in talks until very late, and he's actually gone on to talk about this in Tokyo Sports and all the outlets that he likes and are his friends with. He's talked about how, he was in deep negotiations too until they realized that they could for sure get Okada, and Okada would be happy with it and not, you know, sort of fight against it anymore. And apparently he just kind of got ghosted at that point, which is shitty and seems to have pissed off Naito even more, who has pretty much gone on to say, like, okay, I have, like, for now, I have no sort of open road back to New Japan. I'm just going to kind of forget about it. Which seems to, I mean, I don't want to go into speculating too much, but Naito seems pretty heartbroken about this whole thing, which is really sad. But I mean,
Yeah, I would. I
yeah.
mean, when he first was walking away and like the impression seemed to be that he was kind of a lifer,
Right.
and I don't blame the guy for
No.
being pretty upset about this.
I think he's a guy that, it's a weird case of, I think he's a guy that really wants to be there, and for whatever reason, whether it's them just not wanting to pay him a lot anymore with the condition he's in, or if there was some kind of falling out, they just aren't going to bring him back. Um, Anyways, it seems clear to, any fan, but also Tanahashi himself felt that Okada is a guy who can give him a great match, which he really wants to do in his last match. And yeah, so that's the end of it. I think it's just good to clear this all up because it's such a weird story to hear in bits and pieces. I'm glad the whole thing's out there. Like I said, it was a really great piece of work by Trish Spears. If you go look it up and read it for yourself, it's really well put together. And even though it's just a sort of a gossip thing, it continues to make me real excited about how this match might end up being. So I'd recommend going and reading it for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just wanted to touch on that real quick before we got into the rest of it.
Well,
As for sorry,
before we get into that, sticking in the island of Japan, it's something I didn't mention before, but I was reminded of it, and I would like to mention it. In the last week, Minoru Suzuki dressed up as Majin Buu and wrestled Frieza on an indie show. Frieza was Yusuke Kodama. I don't know if you guys seen this picture, but it is perfect. And then today he wrestled in Baka Gaijin as I don't know if you guys know who this is. It's a Japanese manga character.
I do know Baka.
Well, I know you know Baka Gaijin, but he today dressed up as Doraemon. If you know who that is.
Oh,
I do also.
Yes.
I know Doraemon.
And
we're all weebs here.
there is we're all weebs here. It's on his Instagram. It is very funny photos, and this is the first time he is reunited with Zack Sabre Jr. dressed as Doraemon, by the way, on this show. So please seek that out. There's a picture of him drinking beer as Doraemon on his Instagram, and it's very funny. The Majin Buu picture is about to be my profile picture. I'm going to send it in the Discord in a second, but... Sorry, I just saw that, and I was like... I was going to mention it earlier, and then I was like, I was reminded I have to get it out. But
to believe that people were saying that he was washed too after all of this, you just said
Suzuki was washed.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, no, that's been the the knock for the past year.
None of these people watched the
know.
DDT match with Yukio Ueno where he made him look like a star. So except for me. But yeah, this is about to be my Discord profile picture. That is
Oh Lord.
Oh my God.
that is the funniest picture ever. Let me see if I can take a picture of
That's so fun.
the Doraemon one. But all right,
My biggest regret from my Japan trip early this year is that I did not get to stop at his pile driver store in Harajuku because I know he's there a lot, and so I was like, maybe, just maybe, I can say hey.
oh, that'd be so
my God.
awesome. He'd probably call you a young boy.
Oh yeah.
Okay, wait, I'm looking at the second one. Oh my God.
He's drinking a beer in one of
Oh.
these.
That is great. I'm happy to see the man happy.
All right, you can continue now, Jack. Sorry, I had to get that in.
No, it's fine. I'm not gonna spend too much time on World Tag League because we're kind of in the middle of the boring part of the most boring tournament of the year. Even though I was defending World Tag League and it has been better than normal, you can't escape that it is a World Tag League. You feel me? So, I mean, it just is what it is. This is gonna be people at their least amount of trying possible, and it'll be that way probably next week too. I'll just give a quick update on the scores. In A block, Suji and Kid are leading with 8 points. They've only dropped one match against Maloney and Takagi at the beginning, and besides that, they've already defeated Evil and Fale, Owens Takahashi, Yano and Oleg, and as of today, Desperado and Ishikawa, which was a great match, by the way. It was a fun story of Kid basically trying to bring weapons into the match to get going with Desperado every 2 seconds, and Suji trying to dissuade him from it as much as possible. There was some good Ishikawa, giant beating the shit out of people's spots, and I liked that one. I also really liked Maloney and Takagi versus Taichi and Kojima from today. Just another great, hard-hitting, classic New Japan bout. But besides them leading the block with 8, Despy and Ishikawa and Bishamon and Evil Fale and the War Dragons are all tied at 6. Takahashi and Owens have yet to pick up any points at 0, so they're eliminated. Taichi and Kojima have only picked up 1 win at 2, so they're also eliminated over an A block. In B block, we've got a lot of people at 6. It's the no, a lot of people at 4 rather. It's the classic parody booking that they've been doing in a lot of tournaments this year, which always pisses me off, to be honest with you. We're still halfway through the tournament, so who knows what will happen.
DAJ.
Oh my God, dude, seriously. Bless you, Noah. We've got the KOB at 4. We've got Sabre Jr. and Oiwa at 4. Okan and Newman at 4. Archer and Zane at 4. Umino and Uemura at 4. Finley and Takahashi at 4. Tanahashi and ELP at 2. And leading the block is sold out Ren Narita and the cold-blooded Sonata at 6. So, as of now, the best team is looking to win the whole thing. Here's how
House always wins, baby.
continues to be true. One thing I want to touch on more, actually, this week, while I still can, rather than focusing on New Japan, I'll be going over to the World Wonder Ring of Stardom, because some interesting stuff has been happening with that lately. They actually finished their final of the Goddesses of Stardom Tag League, which I admittedly have not found the time to watch, but I've been reading all about it and what's been going on, because I do quite like the promotion nowadays. Here, a fun thing to start off for people who might be listening who have no idea about Stardom because we never mention it. I'll say this: besides CMLL, maybe you could argue, but besides them, Stardom is really the only promotion on Earth right now that I think you could argue is like well and truly on a hot streak. It feels like everyone else is kind of going through the motions. Like in any major promotion, you could say whatever about whatever, like indies are up or down. But as it comes to major, well-funded promotions. I think Stardom is straight up the only one I can think of with real momentum behind it. It feels like every week we're hearing word of like attendance is getting better and better. Obviously, Kamitani has become one of the true breakout stars of the year and has gotten a lot of mainstream acclaim quickly. So, I mean, you could say that just for like the final, which did a pretty unbelievable number that was over 1,000 and some like it was something they normally don't get. Might have been back in Oda. Let me check real quick. Oh, it's like the nerdiest, nichest thing to compare promotions attendances, but whatever.
Well,
No,
I think it's a real. I think more than any other promotion. I mean, it is an indicator, but especially for Japan, where they have been. It's very up and down. It is nice to see where you have improvement in certain towns and areas, especially because it's such a lot smaller. Of like you only go to these certain places, where that's how much you can truly see what you're drawing and what you're not.
Sure. Yeah. See, yeah, they did. So they did the final, and it got like 1,100 in fucking Hamamatsu. So
Okay, yeah.
wherever,
Right
yeah.
on.
Sayaka Kurara and Aya Sakura, the young ladies, the young rookies of Cosmic Angels, ended up winning the whole league. They defeated the current champions, BMI 2000, Natsuko Tora, and Ruaka. Really surprising result for me. Kurara and Sakura are actually there. So Stardom's a little weird. They've got these two developmental belts, New Blood Tag Championships and the Future of Stardom Championship, which they have like a brand for the rookies, but they also have the rookies compete on regular shows. So Sakurara, they're like 19, so it doesn't sound like gibberish to anyone listening. Sakurara, they're the New Blood Tag Champions right now, but they also won the league and are facing the real Goddesses of Stardom Tag Champions at Dream Queendom. So that's very cool. Kurara is very popular and very projected to do a lot in the future. She was kind of a pet project of Tam Nakano, the company's ace, for at least the last 2 years before Kamitani came along. And she was kind of her little pet project and her favorite rookie, and so she's very popular. Aya Sakura is very good, but not quite as projected to go so far. It's a big win for them. It was an unexpected win for them, like I said, and I'm excited to see that match. I'm going to other things, more interesting things happening on the Dream Queen. But I will say, I really like Tora and Rock as a team. Seen any of their stuff? The tag division of Stardom
I have.
is such a okay, good. Let me know what you think then, because I really like the way they've been holding this division down.
Yeah, I've only seen a handful of their stuff, but and from before they were champions. So I haven't kept up really with this current run that they've been on. But I do like their dynamic a lot as this very kind of like old school, like All Japan women's, like, it's very atrocious alliance, and Natsuko Tora has for pretty much her entire career.
She's always taken influence from that.
Yeah, she's very much a prodigy of Dump Matsumoto. I really, and I know that Hate as a faction, and Tora specifically as a wrestler, because she was the leader of Oedo Tai before it turned into Hate as well. She was kind of viewed in a lesser light, certainly the previous leaders of Oedo Tai.
Yeah.
I feel like people were constantly comparing her to, Kagetsu, or to, the B. Priestley kind of run of it, and all that kind of stuff. But I think she's really, by being sort of like taken out of that big, huge spotlight of like, she's not really, as far as I can tell, in the red belt kind of scene at the minute. No. I think that's let her do more fun, more interesting stuff with this tag run. So
I agree. I really like it. I like how she's raising Ruaka up.
Yeah, and
As,
Raka, I do want to talk about. I think she's got a lot of potential.
Yeah.
To be something really cool later on. It's still she's. I mean, she's involved very much in, I think, that kind of new blood sort of promotion that they've got going on. But
yes.
But whenever she does eventually kind of like graduate into their main roster, it would with what she's shown so far, I would like for them to, maybe put her in a similar position to where they seem to be putting the Cosmic Angels folks in as well.
Sure. I like that idea for sure. And I like that such a high-profile match at Dream Queendom is going to have, all rookies outside of Tora. You're right about Tora taking a step back from the main event scene. Really, since Hate has formed, even though it originally formed with her still being the champion, it's kind of... She's taken a back seat, but she's still the leader. It reminds me of in a way of like late Suzuki-gun, where Suzuki was clearly not the most threatening main eventer of the group anymore, but he was still, a respectable coach that they all looked up to the end.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of
a presence.
Yeah,
more so.
Yeah, I think that's how Tora is in Hate. She's not the ace of the faction by any means, because Kamitani is the ace of the whole company right now. But she is like the soul of Hate, and is the one that like it's not going to be a thing where Saya ever actually overthrows her, because they all respect her and they all take her advice. She's like a coach, kind of.
Yeah.
In other Stardom news, before we move on to other stuff, I don't know if this is on the actual final show or the show before it, but Micah is going to be making her return very soon, which is very exciting for me. I don't know how y'all feel about Micah, but I really fuck with Micah, and I've been missing her.
I didn't know that she was out.
No, she's been out for a while. She's been out not for a while, like a little less than half a year. But it was right after Shirakawa left and made EXV kind of weird and in like limbo state, and then she got injured. For real, what do we do? The answer is no.
Yeah, sure.
She's coming back. She's got Hate in her sights immediately. This won't be the match for Dream Queendom, because the match is already set for Dream Queendom. But I've been saying this in the circles I sort of run in. Kamitani is great. I'll give a little backstory actually first, because I have to remember that I'm dealing with an audience that probably has no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. Before Kamitani took this undisputed role as the most popular woman in the company and has held this championship now for about to be a whole year, they were experimenting with other top ladies. Like I said, Tam kind of took that role of the popular veteran, even though Mayu was still there. She was on the way out, and Tam was like she was directing the main event for a while. Before that, it was Micah, who they were trying to push as this new. Really, they weren't trying to present her as an ace-like figure. She won the 5-star. She won the belt already. It's actually almost 1-to-1 how Utami Hayashishita is in Marigold, which is perfect since they were, attacking for so long.
Yeah, they really are like mirror images of each other, even in look. For a while.
So basically, they were both running those two women as like the same character and the same champion, and now Stardom is so far outside of that with Kamitani and what she's doing. But I think I really like Micah. I really like her work. And the one thing Kamitani has been missing all this time since Tam left is like fucking anyone credible to be a rival. Yeah. So I think this could, if they work it right and don't just have Kamatani like whoop her ass and send her packing like she has with everyone else. I think they could do a lot with these two as sort of the generational rivalry for Stardom for the next little while, and I look forward to seeing if they'll go with that. Um, besides that, besides that, the other interesting thing coming up is on the 8th, where Saya Iida and Amy Sourei are doing a number one contenders match for who's going to face Konami for the Wanderer Stardom Championship at Dream Queendom. Um, it seems obvious to people who've been watching that this is kind of a last minute replacement. They were building up Hanan, who's one of their sort of like biggest future babyface prospects. They had a little rivalry with her and Konami going all year. And when Konami won the white belt, when it seemed like Konami was going to win the white belt, it was pretty clear that this was where they were heading, was that she'd be sort of a transitional champion for Hanan to get a big win at Dream Queendom. Hanan injured herself also recently. She's she's on the injured list. And so they've sort of had her tag partner Saida fill those shoes, and y'all, Ida's fucking awesome.
I love Saya
Yeah.
Iida. Yes,
She's
yes.
really great, and I'm glad that she's getting this little mini singles push because of this. I hope she wins. I feel confident that she'll win because of all the stuff I've just said. So yeah, I'm really excited about that match too. Stardom is they're a gas. They're great. I can't wait for Dream Queendom. We can move out of the island. Whatever else.
Move back to the States, and I believe to Nashville, Tennessee, for AEW Dynamite and Collision. I believe are both recorded on Turkey Day. Collision was on Thanksgiving, right?
Collision aired on Thanksgiving.
That's why I
think
didn't watch
but
it.
it was taped the Wednesday.
Yeah, it was taped the
before.
Wednesday before. I was like, that's why I didn't watch it. I was watching my team get their brakes blown out right after we eating some turkey. It was off. I should have watched Collision. But yeah, AEW Dynamite. I'm gonna let Cooper. I've led AEW a lot, but I feel like you are more knowledgeable, so I'm gonna let you lead the C2 discussion for this month. I think.
Okay, yeah, no problem. I am intending to watch every single block match in here, and so I will be able to give a kind of rundown of standings as they come up. But yeah, I mean, already we are firing off on all cylinders here. Mm-hmm. We had on the last episode discussed potential blocks, because at that point the only confirmed names were the folks that had that segment on Full Gear, the Callis family participants in the tournament, that being of course Okada, Takeshita, and Fletcher. But since then, we got the official selection announcements, I believe, that following Monday. It was very, very soon after. Mm-hmm. And I'm not gonna lie, we were kind of onto some shit. Yeah. They really got us. So I'm going to just real quick pull up the blocks real quick, excuse me, I gotta stop using New Japan language. The leagues real quick. So let's see.
The leagues.
Okay, yeah. So for the 2025 edition in Blue League, we've got the Absolute Monster, and as I have now mentioned, your new CMLL World Heavyweight Champion, Claudio Castagnoli. Although this was announced before, and actually he had his first match on the C2 before that CMLL show, so he's pulling double duty for sure. But so he's in it. His faction mate and leader of the Death Riders, Jon Moxley, also in Blue League. They are joined by Konosuke Takeshita, who was announced beforehand. Also making his Continental Classic debut, it's freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy, which seems like a miracle that he hasn't been in these yet. You would have thought that they would have maybe tried to get him in early. Also, speaking of CMLL, the one and only really like big surprise entrant this year, CMLL's own Mascara Dorada, who is not unfamiliar to AEW audiences. He's had quite a number of good matches on AEW programming, including on this year's edition of All Out, in which he was in the unified title triple threat with Takeshita and Okada. And then rounding out the Blue League, we have maybe the most freakish wrestler of all time. I'm talking about the Messiah of the Backbreaker, Roderick Strong. Him and his shitty little mustache are seeking to run rampant through the block here.
Before you start, remember, Roderick Strong, though in the C2, was a replacement for Kyle O'Reilly. He was not. Along with C2, they have brought back C2 post interviews, and Roderick Strong ended it with the exclamation of, "I'm gonna break all your freaking backs," which I personally loved.
Only he didn't say freaking.
Seth flicking Rollins. Yeah, keep going.
No problem. It's a very strong Blue League. I think that is probably going to be where a lot of like the really great, like proper great matches are. Not to say that Gold League is any stretch there either, because there we have the previously announced Kyle Fletcher, former TNT champion, currently in the midst of his two boyfriends arguing with each other. Then fellow Death Rider entrant, we have Pac, the little British weirdo, seems to be trying to make a bit of a case for himself in the potentially declining faction that he's in. Then making his C2 return is Darby Allin. So you're going to get a bunch of really horrific bumps and some just awful spots in some of these as well. Then another big surprise, not one but both members of Jet Speed, Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey, in the same league. And so that match is yet to happen, but when it does, I will be tuned in because I cannot wait for that one. And then, of course, rounding out Gold League is the man with all the gold at the minute, the unified champion Kazuchika Okada, which, by the way, speaking of which, I'm going to get into a little tangent here. So the Continental Classic, if you'll recall, when it started way back when, in those halcyon days of 2023, the prize for winning the Continental Classic was you would become the Continental Champion.
This shit is insane.
The Continental Championship was a belt created specifically so that Eddie Kingston could cosplay as Jumbo Tsuruta or Toshiaki Kawada or Mitsuha. It said that he could pretend to be a Triple Crown champion.
Yes.
Which is fine and good, and I'm glad that he got that. But
I'm very happy he got that.
Yeah, great. But then Okada wins it, and it becomes the Okada belt for like a year. He wins the last year's tournament, and so he retains his Continental Championship that was up for grabs by the time that the tournament came around. They then unify the Continental belt and the International belt to create the unified belt in Okada's match with Kenny Omega at all in this year. Okay? Now, in a good and just world, you know what this would mean is that the Continental and International titles cease to exist, and that there is now the Unified title, and that is the prize for which presumably the Continental Classic can be fought for. Although in an even more ideal world, the Continental Classic would be fought for a big-ass trophy and the chance to, main event Revolution or whatever. But that is not the world that we live in. And unfortunately, Tony Khan fucking loves belts so goddamn much.
He really loves belts.
So, apparently, the unified title could potentially be ununified should Okada lose this tournament again, because only the Continental Championship part of the Unified Championship is up for grabs in this tournament, and not the International Championship, which once again, may I remind you, is part of the Unified Championship. So my head is going to fucking explode like in Scanners or some shit if I think about this too long. And I want to say, I don't mind, like weird belt lineages and all that kind of shit. What I do mind, though, is when you have opened up the possibility of disunifying in less than a year the belt that you made such a big hullabaloo about unifying, and potentially giving us yet another meaningless mid-card men's title, in addition to the other meaningless mid-card men's title that you introduced literally last weekend with the national belt. So, we'll see how that works out. Yes, Logan.
Be 3 meaningless mid-card belts, because if you de-unify the Continental belt, then the lineage of the international Okada would still be international champion. So there'd be 3. You'd have Continental.
I'll kill you.
I guess it's really true, yeah.
I'll reach across there and kill you.
But the question is, too, like, if you de-unify the unified belt, does the belt just go bye-bye? It doesn't make... Does that mean Okada has to win the C2?
If they want to keep the unified belt, yeah. I guess. So, yeah. So we'll see how they work themselves out of that one. Although the solution seemed pretty easy to me. But
you just say,
too late
this
now.
is the belt, and it comes with the Continental Classic because it's tied to it. And you say both lineages are attacked and it cannot be ununified. That's all you have to say.
But no, the international not up for... Okada will still be the international champion no matter what.
Hey. But think about it like this.
That says.
He loses to Takeshita. And then he's like, I'm still the international champion. And all of a sudden, Where's My Mind starts to play. And Orange Cassidy hits him with 20 orange punches and wins back his belt.
Okay, dude, look, I can't live in 2022 forever.
I would like to live in 2022 forever, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, sure, bud. I hope you get exactly that outcome.
Let me dream. Let me dream. He's not going to have...
I'm letting you. Do it. Dream on?
Well,
whatever Aerosmith
let's
said.
get into the actual show.
Okay. So, I'm just going to run down the C2 stuff and a couple of the other kind of like big storyline stuff, because there was some more in the women's division, particularly less so stuff happening in the men's title scene on Dynamite at least, but we will get into some stuff on Collision. So opening up this edition of Dynamite, we had your C2 Gold League opener. I was very surprised that they put this match on first. Kazuchika Okada versus Kyle Fletcher. This seems like the kind of thing that they might have wanted to sort of build up to and kind of draw out the drama of like, oh, what will happen when these faction mates meet. But they just went right for it right away. And I'm kind of glad that they did. Because it also gave us our first big upset of the tournament. Kyle Fletcher pinned Okada. Granted, it was I think a roll-up pin, but still, nonetheless, points is points. And the Protostar is now 3 points ahead, and Okada has none. So not the direction that I thought that they were going to go with Okada specifically this tournament. My predictive table that I made beforehand, I had him going completely undefeated the whole way through. Because I thought maybe they would really want to nail down that whole greatest tournament wrestler thing. But interesting kind of upset here. Kyle gave a really great backstage promo afterwards. Pretty much everybody gave a really great backstage promo afterwards. I really like that they're continuing to add those. That's a really nice little touch that reminds me of kind of like, the prime years of the G1, where I would really like to tune in to see what, Kenny Omega and Jay White and Hiroki Goto and all those guys would have to say after their matches. So then we get this is non-C2 stuff, but the other big tournament that's going on right now in AEW, the women's tag stuff, the Sisters of Sin versus the Babes of Wrath. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it this week. It was a fine enough little match. I will say, I was very surprised. Logan, what is the one thing that we know about Julia Hart's moveset?
She does the moonsault.
That's true. And what is interesting about Julia Hart's moonsault
is that it's very high and gets no distance whatsoever.
That's correct.
Phew, thanks, Logan. I would have never gotten that.
Logan, I have to tell you, the woman with maybe the shortest moonsault I've ever seen in my life overshot it.
It was a very funny overshot too. Her laid on the feet immediately just like
I know. She like landed like a cat and then like pounced back on her. It's fine. Stuff happens.
Yeah.
But I will say she recovered quick. She did that little elbow drop sort of thing pretty quick after. So, but yeah, I thought it was just funny that of all the shows, this is the one where she overshoots instead of undershoots.
You just wait. She's actually changing the direction of how she does moonsault. She's gonna have the longest moonsault ever soon.
yeah, she's gonna go from one corner to the other
moonsaulting all the way
by the time that it's done. Yeah. Then we had an ops segment that was interrupted by the coolest fucking looking team in the world of Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland. They come out here, man. God damn, I want a movie with these two. They are so cool.
I got a nickname for those two. If we were to ever do a tag, which they're never going to use it. But I mean, knowing both of them and what they use, we gotta call them the Chain Gang, guys. Like, come on.
Oh yeah, sure. I will say, so they walk out through the crowd, and that little venue that they're in Nashville has a bar.
Yes.
And Hanger takes a shot of courage before going in there. Which is interesting though, because like they're like every time they have Hangman around alcohol now, it's always framed as like he's going to the dark side. It wasn't really framed that way in this one. It was framed as very much kind of like that, cowboy sort of old gunslinger taking one last shot before he proceeds to drag the guy across the bar, sort of thing. So it was presented as almost kind of heroic in a way. But yeah, I am so down to see the Ops get their asses completely handed to them by these
especially
two.
The greatest second generation wrestler of all time, Hook.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I love people are like, that's so specific that he might be right, because every time they tried to name someone, they're like, well, that's actually third generation, or like, oh, that's it.
Sure. Yeah, is Hook better than Cody Rhodes? We do have to consider it. We do, but
who has a neck tattoo and who doesn't?
That's also true. All right, and then moving on, we have continued Continental Classic action in the Blue League this time. It's Jon Moxley versus Mascara Dorada. Now, so enemy and or friend of the show, depending on how you look at it, Joseph Monticello, he proposed an idea on his Twitter that I was very fond of. As much as I hate to hand it to him.
It's a great idea.
That Mox should go 0 and 5 the whole way. Just loss after loss after loss. Which I was like, that would be fun. But realistically, in my head, I know that they are not letting Jon Moxley go completely winless in this tournament. He is too big of a name, and Mascara Dorada is too small of a name to even in any possible reality get a win on Mox. And sure enough, I was right. And Dorada did end up taking the pin here, but not with lack of effort. He put in a really great performance, and the crowd was super hot behind Dorada. They should I say also they were super hot against Moxley. They were really, really letting Mox have it. Every time Dorada gets him in something even close to a submission, they jump up and they're like tap, tap, tap. Yeah, I mean, this was super fun, and even though once again, like I was not particularly expecting any result other than this, there was a little glimmer in the back of my mind. It's like, oh well, maybe they could. Yeah. But yeah. So Mox gets an opening 3 points on the board. Let's see if he can continue that momentum, or if he gets stopped dead in his tracks. Which, if his next challenge is anything to go by, he probably will. So. Then we have to follow up on the C2 stuff on this show. A hands down, stone cold
match of the
year.
year.
Loved this match, dude. Darby Allin versus Kevin Knight.
That's my boy.
Ooh boy. The Jet, man. The Jet,
man.
Look, I love Speedball Mike Bailey. I love him to death. All right? Friend of the show.
Great guy.
Great guy. Hey, Speedball Mike Bailey, great guy. Kevin, you gotta kill him.
Whoa. Kill him.
I'm not saying in this tournament. Not in this tournament, and not even like this year or whatever, but when Jet Speed break up, Kevin Knight needs to do something drastic to Speedball Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight needs to fucking take a proper, like, big time spot on the TV show, because man oh man, if he shows half of the just fucking the instincts that he showed here in this match, I mean, shit, man, like 2-3 years, that's a main eventer. if he wants it. But yeah, I mean, holy shit. It was like Darby. Also, I do want to praise Darby here too, because this match doesn't work without him. Being in the veteran position in here, but being able to play the same game that Knight is playing of these, kind of daredevil, high risk kind of stuff, and seeing the ways that they're like, anticipating each other for those big dives and high spots and everything. There's the clip that's kind of gone really, really popular lately of when they're on the outside and Darby's running in towards Knight, who's like kind of up against the barricade, and Knight jumps up on it and then kind of springboard moonsaults himself onto Darby. It was just like the timing was so perfect, and I would really, really love to see them take a real chance on Kevin and put him in these big showcases more often. I would like to see him get the win in the eventual jet speed match in this league, and I would say make a clear statement with this tournament that when this is done and the dust settles, that Kevin Knight is a real prospect that you are going to put time in and energy into. So that's what I want. But let's see. Okay, so then following up, we've got the main event of your show tonight. It was the Continental Classic debut in the Blue League. The Continental Classic debut of Orange Cassidy against, unfortunately for him, Claudio Castagnoli. Logan, I'm so sorry.
Twice in like 3 weeks, man. I had to watch my boy get murdered.
For what it's worth, I think he will do okay in this tournament. I think he'll rack up some points on the board, but not tonight. Because Claudio. I mean, this was a very, very classic David Goliath setup here. I mean, I've seen these two go against each other before, and they've always worked really well with this formula and with this premise. But man, like Claudio, the cutoffs for Orange's hands and pockets spots were, I think, some of the best ways to cut off that spot that I've maybe ever seen. And I love to like just that image of Claudio lifting up Orange by his pants. And like kind of hoisting him around like a baby, while Orange is like just kind of dangling his legs under him, and he's got his hands in his pockets. It was I thought just a really funny mismatch. But yeah, I mean, Claudio is clearly it's his third C2, and they are very much putting into his motivation this time, that he has more experience in this tournament than anybody else, and he's really fucking coming to take it this time. And it's there seem to really be building him up as this like just stalwart soldier throughout the tournament who's going to do anything to push through you. And so I'm excited for his other matchups later on in the tournament. Specifically, I had mentioned it in passing a little bit ago, but it's been made official. His next match is going to be against John Moxley. So I'm really, really interested to see how those dynamics are going to come out in that one.
They're really,
very much a match for the future of the Death Riders.
They're really knocking out a lot of these like really big matches. I mean, like, Fletcher Okada 2 would be a marquee match you get at the start of the tournament. Like, you would think that, Castagnoli and Mox, especially with the whole Death Rider storyline, would be later. But I do find it very interesting that they're hitting these very early on and getting people excited. Because my hope is like you get people locked in for TV with these big matches, and then they're seeing all these wrestlers weekly. And so like whenever you have the again the matches that may not be necessarily the marquee of what you circle, that more people will tune in. Especially like, and one thing we didn't mention earlier, but I would like to, is Okada's only lost. Gosh, how many times has he lost? Like 3 or 4 times. He's only lost 4 matches in AEW, and 2 of those matches, one of the ones he lost, he wasn't signed to AEW at the time. It was the Forbidden Door match, Danielson 2023. He lost to Danielson in like that AEW champion versus champion match when Danielson was world champion. And then he's lost to Fletcher twice. He's the only other person to ever beat Okada so far in AEW, and both C2 so far. I think that's a very interesting storyline that I don't think they'll use now, but they could use later.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, with the character as dominant as that, you have to give him a kryptonite at some point, right? And I would love to see, like, maybe Fletcher is his kryptonite. I think that would be fun. Although I like that kind of story beat maybe more sometimes when it's like somebody who's really, really unexpected in it, like the big AEW example that I like is MJF and Sean Dean. Like that MJF just cannot fucking beat the Captain Sean Dean for whatever reason. Kyle Fletcher will do too. I guess he's about as good as Sean Dean. But so then moving on. Logan, do you know what time it is?
Is it time for the Collision Minute?
Hey, be careful now! Don't get us in trouble now. That beep sounded awfully familiar. There we go.
You know what, Cooper? Before you start the Collision Minute, the big thing that I think we're all going to talk about is Eddie Kingston, and I am going to cry because me and you, good buddies, good friends, we're making a great trip to North Carolina on December 11th.
Goddamn right.
North Carolina.
Home of Kenny Omega for DPW 4th anniversary. But on December 10th, AEW is going to be in our backyard. Not really our backyard, but where we go to see them in Atlanta, Georgia. And they're running Eddie Kingston versus Samoa Joe for the world title. And we're not going to be there. And I'm going to cry.
We're not.
I don't know. I might have to take off another work, man. I don't know, man.
You are welcome to do that. I've made commitments, but yeah.
Jack, I'm telling you, bro. Think about it.
Which day?
It's on a Wednesday.
Yeah, sure. But
December 10th.
What day, though?
December 10th.
Okay, so it's a week and a half. Yeah, I have no idea. Probably.
Alex actually wants to go, but Alex would be he would be yelling against Eddie Kingston, and I would have to strangle him. So I don't think I could do that. That's so heartbreaking. That's so heartbreaking, Cooper.
Yeah.
Of course they announced this match.
Man. They not only do they announce this match, they give this match some of the best build I've ever fucking seen. in like not just this year, like in wrestling history. Man, okay, I'm just gonna get into it. This is the start of the Collision Minute here. So Eddie Kingston and Shibata had a match on this episode of Collision, and the match was fine. All right, dare I say even like pretty good. Definitely the best match that Eddie's had so far in his return from injury. I mean, the hook stuff was unthinkable, unthinkably bad. What they were doing with him, but they've finally backed out from that, and but have used the Hook Association to push him into this program with the Ops. And Shibata was a great choice to have that first match in this feud with him, because they already had a really good match. If you'll recall from Wrestle Dream, the first Wrestle Dream show, I think that Kingston Shibata match there is really underrated. But this one was fine. It's TV, and so they were kind of working in those constraints too. But so Eddie gets the win here, and then he gets a mic, and man, it was like this, just feeling the puzzle piece click into place that had been missing for months at this point, right? Like, they had Eddie Kingston come back, not cut a single proper in the ring to the camera, to his opponent promo for like 2 months, dude.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? This is literally the whole reason. Like, and look, I love Eddie's in-ring. I think it's really underrated. It's not the reason why so many people love him so much. It's because of his talking. And you come out here and you let Big Bill reintroduce him? Fuck you, Tony. Like, I'm sorry. Like, no. Yeah. And then afterwards, the only talking that you get from him is just in the little opening Collision promos where he's like, I don't want to talk right now. And it's Saturday, and then he goes into the ring, right? Like, that's not what I want. That's not enough. That's not what the thing is. Eddie works best when he is filled to the brim with hate for another man. And don't laugh.
No, I know
I'm
you
not
aren't.
But and when he has just no other choice but to look him in the eye and just let him have it, right? Just tell him exactly how he feels about him. That's when Eddie Kingston makes magic. And even when it's something as like that I relatively don't care about as much, when it's against somebody else that I don't care about as much, like Hook, even with that, Eddie makes it feel like Hook is the biggest bastard in the entire professional wrestling industry because of how he wronged him. And he makes Samoa Joe feel like the biggest bastard in the entire company because of how he betrayed his own view of Samoa Joe in Eddie's mind. Eddie looks up to him. Eddie reveres him as this great champion from Ring of Honor, as this stalwart of the business. And he goes and pulls some shit like that at the pay-per-view. Like, that's the stuff, man, that I'm looking for. And I know he's not going to win it. I know he's not. But man, that's the joy, though, of Eddie. This promo where he tells the cameraman to get real close in on his eyes and do his job, right? Like, and he's looking directly into the audience too, at the same time that he's looking at Samoa Joe. And he tells him to fight me, right? And just for that 1 second, I believe he's gonna win. Of course he's.
He has to.
He can't not win it. Yeah, right. And he's no, of course he's not. But man, he has to. And man, wouldn't it be great? Like,
See, you're better than me. I'm delusional. I think he's going to win because I saw that promo. I wonder when he was like, I have no peace in my outside life. This is the only place I have peace. Put the title on the line.
It's in the ring.
Oh my God, man. It was like, he's the greatest.
He's the greatest of all time. I gave some context. Last year was going over to my friend's house in Birmingham. And they are not particularly into professional wrestling at all. But we were doing a PowerPoint night for them. And so my PowerPoint was about Eddie Kingston and about the kind of like the feuds that he had been involved in. And my whole kind of like point at the end of it was like, Eddie's the only like character in wrestling that feels like a real person. And that's what makes him so interesting, and that's what makes professional wrestling so interesting, is because you get this blending of what's real and what's fake. And with Eddie, I mean, there's who knows, like maybe he did kill a man at 16 or whatever, like I'd believe it, and for that one night, my friends got it, and they were the biggest Eddie Kingston fans in the world. Now, granted, they didn't watch AEW after. But for that one night, they just saw, okay, here's the story of this guy, this real human being who is down on his luck and down on himself, and it has to scrap and claw for every opportunity that he gets. And man, like that's what you want. That's what you want in a character. Yeah, I mean, I'm so hyped up for this match, man. I'm absolutely gonna be there. If you watch nothing else from the world of wrestling this week, don't watch any matches. All right, this may be the first time I'm going to say this on the first and only time I'm going to say this on this program. Don't watch any matches this week. Watch this promo. All right. So that's my gushing segment over there for Eddie. In terms of actual matches on Collision, though. The Continental Classic continued. Gold League, we had Pac versus Mike Bailey. This is really, really fun. I dig this new version of Pac. We had talked about his match with Darby on the pay-per-view last time, and he showed more signs of that same kind of calculating, technical kind of stuff that he has here, with also kind of a willingness to bend the rules to his will. And ends up giving Speedball the L. I'll say I was a little skeptical about the lariat finish of his. The one he put on Speedball, I buy it. I totally buy it. He swang that thing. It was rough. Although I don't think he actually finished the match with that one. I think he might have put Bailey in the Brutalizer, but I could be mistaken on that. Don't quote me. I don't take notes. But then we had I guess the big blow-off match for the never-ending feud of Daniel Garcia and Matt Menard. So this was really big for some folks, I guess. Logan, or you tapped in? You tapped in for this one?
I'm all the way in. I got my hog dipped in, if you know what I'm saying. I'm tapped in, brother. Matt Menard. Matt Menard. Look, say what you want, man. Matt Menard's a real worker. Have I watched this match?
He is.
No. But will I watch this match? Yes.
All right. Well, I'm glad to hear it. Hey, man, I'm a Big Daddy Magic guy when he's not treating Daniel Garcia like a child on a commentary, which he was for a long time. And I do like him, like confronting him and being more antagonistic now. So yeah, maybe this will lead to some more cool stuff. Who knows? But yeah, Daniel gets the
super friend of the show, he might add.
Yes, super friend of the show, Daddy Magic. Matt Menard saw me in a moment when nobody should. So shout out to Daddy Magic.
That's okay. We're seeing him like that every single week.
Oh man. Then we had the greatest 5 minutes in all of professional wrestling, the MXM casting call, where the team of Johnny TV, Mansoor, and Mason Madden, friend of the show, Mansoor, by the way, friend of the show, took on the other team of Dalton Castle and the boys, this time the Outrunners, Truth Magnum, Turbo Floyd. This is fun. Yeah, go ahead and check that out. Very, very quick little squash match. But I have a lot of time for MXM. Then we get the Kingston Shibata match, and then the aforementioned promo leading into the I believe Winter is Coming.
Yes,
is when they've scheduled the Kingston Joe title match, but there's a Dynamite in between then too. Then Tekla took on Tay Mello in a pretty good match. Nothing too crazy here. I don't even necessarily know why Tekla and Tay Mello didn't like each other very much. Because Anna Jay got taken out by Marina Shafir. If not last week, then a week very recently. But I really dig Tekla's stuff. Tay Mello, I think, is probably the better part of TJ for me in ring wise, and showed some good fire, but ultimately gets trapped in the web of the Toxic Spider. And then to cap off Collision, we have Continental Classic action again in the Blue League with Roddy Strong, little freak that he is, with his little freak mustache, taking on the Alpha Konosuke Takeshita.
With the
Logan, do you know what this was?
If it's anything less than a match of the year, I'm gonna have to question your authority here, Cooper.
Oh, don't you worry, brother. This is a match of the year.
Match of the year candidate.
And here's the crazy thing. I can't tell you pretty much a single spot from this match other than the fucking backbreaker on the railing.
And the Blue Thunderbomb on the railing.
Oh yes, Blue Thunderbomb, not backbreaker. I'm getting my screen crossed. Yes, the Blue Thunderbomb on the railing. God damn, what a beauty. What an absolute beauty. I was so in from that moment on. Roddy, he gets the loss here, but man, that promo afterwards, he looked like a man possessed, and was by far the most charismatic that I've ever seen Roderick Strong, really. I mean, that's kind of been my joke about him all the time, is he's just a void. He's like the abyss, right? Like no up, no down, no light, no dark. Roderick, like to be Roderick Strong is to be nothingness personified, until he gets in the ring, in which point I'm so locked in. But man, yeah, I mean, maybe it's just the fact that he's older and rugged, and you get this kind of sense of weight behind his words now. But yeah, I really, really bought into it, and I'm kind of really excited to see what he does in the rest of the tournament too, because like you said, there's that element of him being a replacement, and wanting to show people that he's more than that, and that he is a legend in this business. He's had the tenure of it, and he's got the accolades behind it, but nobody really views him that way in AEW right now. And so Takeshita, I think, is absolutely the clear choice to take the Blue League. Because I think we're very much building up to the finals being the Takeshita Okada match. But in the meantime, the stories playing out underneath him in the Blue League, I think, are really what's the pull of this tournament for me. That's kind of the more meaty storytelling matches in there. And the Gold League, I think, is more for me going to be kind of like just the big spectacle kind of stuff, because that's where your Darbys are, and your Jet Speeds and Kyle Fletcher and all that. So
I think if I can pinpoint, for me, the connection thing is, as much as I love Roderick Strong, I do understand the criticism of he's an uninteresting guy, especially promo-wise and stuff like that. But I think what really holds weight about this program is it is the Eddie Kingston realness factor, where it felt like this is coming from his chest. On top of that, again, like if you look at his career, other than maybe the early ROH days, he's always felt like someone that's just like, as good as he is, he always feels sort of like an afterthought. He's never the guy. I mean, he held the Ring of Honor title at one point, but I don't think for very long. He's always been, he's just a good TV guy for a long time, especially in those later years in his ROH run. When he was in NXT, he was kind of floundering until he joined the Undisputed Era, and even then, he was just Adam Cole's, secondary guy. Same thing when he, left. Same thing when he joined AEW, and even with a lot of this Cole stuff. Even when he won the international title, it wasn't like, okay, this is the big Roderick Strong push. It's like, okay, this is a good mid-card guy. You'll never be the guy and stuff like that. And especially, as you get older and you look back on your career, it's kind of like with Eddie, when Eddie first had that run in the C2, he hadn't had any titles, he hadn't had any push, but this was his moment. He felt like he could chase the dream. Now, do I feel like Roger Strong is going to be able to chase a dream? No. And it is something that, like, I love this build for the Takeshita Okada match, but I wish it wasn't done during the C2 because it does dampen the factor of, like, I feel like I know the finals. You know what I'm saying? Like, and, like, that does dampen,
for sure.
The chance, especially, like, with Takeshita being the IWGP champion. I don't think he should lose. Like, I think you need to keep. He's going into a big January 4th defense where he needs to lose there. I don't want him to discredit anything on AEW TV. No offense, and I think he can take a loss, be fine. But it's just like I don't really want to see that right now because of him holding that belt. Which, when you're in a tournament like this, it really harms the chances of, like, okay, you feel like anything else is going to happen. Which is fine, and I think the matches will still be great. But, I kind of wish they would have did that separately. But, you pick, beggars can't be choosers. I'm not going to complain about seeing 5 Takeshita matches over the next 5 weeks, against OC, against, Mox and... No, wait, they're not in the same... That's the right block, right? It's... Okay.
They are in the same block.
Dorada and Claudio, and like I'm not gonna complain about that. Like, you kidding me? But
right.
But
right.
But yeah, I think it was a very good C2 season's always fun. AW programming finally feels focused with, like, you have your big world title feuds, and then mainly the C2. And I think with this women's tag tournament, at least even if people complain, it still feels like a focused booking, not like aimless a lot of times. There's still collision where it's like, it does feel like it's the collision zone where it's like, okay, we can just have fun matches. Like, we can have that blow off for Daddy Magic and Daniel Garcia. We can have a Tekla match,
Yeah.
The crowd is really getting behind Tekla, by the way.
They very much are. Yeah. I think her AEW work has far exceeded a lot of people's expectations.
As someone who's never watched any of her work in Stardom, I think she's a great wrestler, and I think she's never done wrong. And anybody who says otherwise, just they don't know ball. What can I say? They haven't watched what I've watched.
I believe you because I'm not gonna find out from myself.
Well, is there anything else anybody wants to say before we get into that outro?
No. Just happy to be here.
Oh,
I think I have talked myself sore. So.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Thank you for listening to Strongest Style, a pro wrestling podcast. That has been it for us this week. But if you want to listen to all of our previous episodes, you can find those on their podcast players of choice. Apple, Spotify, probably Deezer. We know we're on YouTube. Hey, keep going on the YouTube. Get some comments in there. Tell us what you want to hear us talk about. If you want to follow us, you can follow us on social media at me, by Logan Hurston. For Jack, it's Mr. Average Darth. It's Average Darth on Twitter. Cooper doesn't have social media, but Cooper, any last words?
Every time is sap time if your heart is true.
We will see you guys later. Goodbye. Mwah! And good night. Bang!